Rankin. I'm with Chartered Accountants Ireland. Just to talk about a couple of brief things now, I want to cover what the chartered difference is and give you a bit of an oversight of what is the difference between chartered accountancy and the other bodies that will speak to you tonight. Another thing I think I want to clarify is what is this new route to the qualification, the elevation programme. And it's something that really has changed the rules for accounting technicians, and it's a seismic shift, arguably the biggest thing that's ever happened to the training since its foundation in 1888. My presentation, my job here would be a great deal easier, and your job or your decision would be easier, I suggest, if all accountancy qualifications were the same. Unfortunately, they're not valued in the business environment as such. You need only speak to recruitment consultants to ask them if they're looking for an accountant, all things being equal in terms of experience, etc. Which do they want? Do they want a chartered accountant or a qualified accountant? The answer is chartered, and that's the experience. Look at the business community, the leaders in the business community, chartered accountants, right across in industry or practice in general. That's something you probably know, but it's just to reiterate the fact. Look at the top accountancy practices in Ireland, the top 10 practices, chartered practices. We have accountants and members working, like all accountants, right across industry. The difference with chartered is that our members are leading those businesses, not just working in them. If that matches your expectation and ambition, then I suggest you think chartered. So we've argued the point. What exactly is the difference? I would suggest that no other accountancy body will offer the same support, structure and guidance that chartered accountancy will offer. Look at structure. You need only look around you to see what chartered accountancy is in Ireland. We have a fantastic headquarters, brand new. But look, it's much more than bricks and mortar. It's about the kind of structure that you can depend on to get you through where you want to be in a short possible amount of time and to get the qualification that you're looking for. So, structure. You need to, I suggest, join an organisation that's intrinsically Irish, based in Ireland, based in this very building. I look across my desk and I have 20, 30 members of staff of the Institute. Their dedicated task is only to service the needs of our students. Right from the moment where students are asking, what are my routes, what are my choices, I'm thinking about doing chartered accountancy. To answer those questions, right the way through to take them through their exams, their syllabus, and on to qualification and membership and all the questions of the exams. That's vital for you. If you don't think that's important, try it in a couple of years' time and you realise how important it is to have that kind of structure. That's only one element of the structure. Look at the support that we offer in relation to exams. I mean, there's lots of things that actually make a key difference here with Chartered. The fact that we don't outsource our education. All our education is done by Chartered Accountants Ireland. If you're a Dublin student, you'll do it in this very building. Have a look at the lecture theatres that are downstairs, state of the art. It's not outsourced, it's not going to be done in private colleges, for instance, all over the city. There's vital differences. Manus mentioned the difference of the academic year. We follow an academic year starting in September and finishing in June. That's a little bit different to a modular approach. We find, and educationalists tell us that is the best approach, avoids cramming and lets you get all the information that you'll need. Guidance is extremely important as well. I mentioned guidance. In order to become a qualified chartered accountant, you will evidence a certain amount of experience. Critically, with chartered accountancy, we will have a mentor to bring you along every step of the way, make sure you are where you need to be at every step of the way. And that's not just about education, though obviously it's very important. We're very rigid in this, and that, again, support is key. Again, a couple of years ago, accounting technicians might have struggled to see how relevant it would be, the chartered qualification would be. After all, it was synonymous at that stage with a training contract, whereby the education is done with Chartered Accountants Ireland, and at the same time, if you imagine two parallel lines like rail tracks, the other side of the track was the education. The two of them were done on a parallel track, so that you were doing education and getting your experience via a training contract at the same time. That had its difficulties, obviously, with people who were slightly more mature, had gone down some way along life's path, and had work-life challenges. giving up perhaps a successful job to go back into a training contract and arguably perhaps less attractive salary terms. We recognised the difficulty of that, and we saw that there was fantastic candidates out there who weren't coming to chartered, especially with accounting technicians. We've recognised that for some time with our partner and sister body. What did we come up with? We came up with this elevation programme, Chartered Accountants Elevation Programme. Many of you may have heard about it. We've advertised it quite a bit. It's a great time for accounting technicians to think about chartered and to enter through the elevation programme. Elevation is all about flexibility. Previously that mightn't have been quite possible. Elevation changes the rules entirely. What does it mean? Well, it's about flexibility. It means we've decoupled the education and the experience. You can continue through 1, 2 and 3 years, all of our 3 years, without ever having to start the experience element. In fact, you can do all of it, the education and the experience, in the window of 8 years. So very flexible. No longer do you have to do all the exam sittings in one sitting. You can actually do them in June and then spread them over and do some of them later in a second sitting in August. Look, I'm not going to go into all of the details of the elevation programme. I'll be available later, and there's a brochure and indeed details on elevationprogramme.ie, but it's particularly relevant. The exemptions that we offer for accounting technicians are particularly favourable. With accounting technicians, you're eligible to join the elevation programme as long as you are a graduate or an accounting technician with 4 years work experience. They're the entry rules. For accounting technicians, the huge benefit is that we exempt you from 3 of the 5 subjects from first year, leaving just 2, and then you're straight into the second year. It's a terrific advantage. The reason we do it is because we have such a good rapport and understanding of our sister body. We recognise the calibre of the students it presents. Look, I'll summarise very quickly. This evening is all about choices. With chartered, and if you follow the chartered route, the choices are fantastic. Will I go into industry? What sector will I go into in industry? Like Manus, if along life's path you want to set up your own practice, of course you can do that, and that's flexibility. Ultimately, the choice is even simpler. I can boil it down to even simpler than that. Do I want to be a qualified accountant, or do I want to be a chartered accountant? And I urge you to think about chartered. Thank you very much.